Great. Well, thank you so much, sir, Congressman McEachin. We know that you are very, very busy. You may even have been called back to Washington, I believe, to take some votes. So we are very grateful of your time. But here in the Zoom room today, you have a collection, as it were, of paid leave advocates and folks who are here to speak about the kind of cross section between the fight for paid leave and what it would mean for the substance use a disorder community as well. And so, just a few words about the Virginia Campaign for a Family-Friendly Economy. I know we've met many times, sir, but this is a new capacity for me. And so the Virginia Campaign for a Family-Friendly Economy is an organization that advocates for economic policies that lift Virginia women and families. And so paid family medical leave, of course, is a big, big priority for us. And we really appreciate all of your leadership on behalf of Virginia families over your career, both in the state legislature and of course now as our congressman. And so the folks here that we have on the line are, some are volunteers and advocates with the Campaign for a Family-Friendly Economy, and we have volunteers and advocates from SAARA, the Substance Abuse and Addiction Rehabilitation Alliance of Virginia. I hope I did that right, but I will kick it over to my colleague Victor in just a moment to speak a little bit about SAARA and SAARA's mission. But just a few words on substance use disorder specifically and access to treatment and where paid leave ties into that. So many folks, frankly, who live with substance use disorders are employed and need time away from their jobs in order to get effective treatment. And so it's really making sure that we are eliminating as many barriers that stand in the way to treatment as possible, and this is one of them. And I can share just very, very briefly from my own experience. When I was in the 3rd grade, my father was really struggling with alcohol addiction, and he ended up needing to check into a 28-day rehabilitation program. And he was the primary caregiver for myself and my brother at the time. And we were very lucky because we had an aunt who was able to come and stay with us and care for my brother and me while my father was out, so my mother could keep working. And so, we relied on that family support, but not everybody has that. And so, there are so many situations where folks are just having to make really difficult decisions between getting the care, getting the treatment that they need, and paying bills or keeping on those caregiving roles. And so, and all that to say, paid leave is critical to this community. It's a critical piece of ensuring access to treatment. And so, again, just thank you so much for your leadership. And I'll go ahead and kick it to Victor to say a little bit about SAARA, and SAARA's mission.
Sure. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for attending, Congressman, as well as to all the other individuals on the panel. As Christina mentioned, SAARA is the Substance Abuse and Addiction Recovery Alliance. And we are a statewide organization that advocates, educates, and support individuals affected by substance use disorder. We have 9 affiliates throughout the Commonwealth, and we focus a lot of our direct service here in the city of Richmond, in particular, your district and Congresswoman Spanberger's district. I won't take up too much time because I definitely want to have some time for both our speakers, Jason and Nika, to share some stories with you, as well as open up for any questions. Central to the mission for the paid family leave is that we believe that individuals would greatly benefit from the ability to take time away to seek treatment, or for caregivers of people seeking treatment. And so that's why we're supportive of this campaign. We know that time away presents an incredible barrier for individuals seeking recovery. And so just wanted to share that with you. And once again, thank you for your time.
No, not at all. And just so that everybody can take a deep breath, I hope you already know that I'm all for paid family leave. So, I want to hear what you have to say, but know that you're preaching to the converted. And let me say hi to my friend Dave Mills. I see you there, buddy.
Well, that's what we like to hear, Congressman.
It's great to see your face, my friend.
Cool. So with that, I know Nika is a little bit tight on time. So Nika, do you want to go first and share?
Sure. Thank you, Victor. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Congressman. Thank you so much for being with us today. I am the Program and Operations Manager here at SAARA, So I get to oversee a well-equipped staff of peers who are really working on the ground level, providing services to the recovery community. I'm with you today just to kind of speak on my own personal experience. I am a mother of a 4-year-old, so the paid leave, first and foremost, would definitely help families like mine. But outside of that, my father is in recovery. He's been in recovery for 29 years. And being able to have a comprehensive leave program and plan with SAARA really helped my family immensely recently. He had some health issues that needed to be addressed. And I am an only child, and he lives in West Virginia. So and instead of having to rely on friends and family, especially during COVID times, it was imperative that I was able to come up and support him through that. He also is a veteran, so we were able to receive those services at the VA hospital up there in his area. But without that support from my staff and my supervisor, I wouldn't be able to be that supportive to him. So plans like this for the community in general are needed. And we hope that they can come up with dynamic and comprehensive opportunities for those to be able to work and provide for their families. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And I'm just thankful that you had the opportunity to do that, even though we don't have federal support for you yet.
All right, I suppose I'll go. Congressman, thank you for having us and thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. So my name is Jason Cox. I'm the Peer Outreach Coordinator at SAARA, Virginia. I am a person in long-term recovery myself from substance use disorder. I'm working on 4 years come December. And so recently, I've actually had experience with this because now that I'm in recovery, I also have family that struggles with this illness as well. And so my brother, who has been very successful professionally, and from the outside in, everything would seem to be perfectly fine, but he struggled with alcohol addiction for quite a while after he got out of the Navy. And so it's kind of come to a head where, it's affecting his family life. He's got 2 children. And at this particular point in time, he feels as if, he's kind of by himself. And so me being in recovery, it's been amazing to be able to kind of lend him some support, at least virtually or over the phone. But to have something in place where I could, take time specifically for that to go support him, as well as my mother struggles with the same illness. And so I think, obviously it would be to our benefit. But more importantly, I think that plans like this are essential in order to normalize this illness, that there's so much stigma around. And the sooner we do that, I think the less that we'll spend on the back end cleaning up after ourselves. So I really, really appreciate your time. And thank you for allowing me to share my experience. And thank you for your support in the matter.
Without question. And thank you for you just hanging in there and doing what you're doing for your family.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll just say, we see this as an opportunity, to be honest, just to save lives. The sooner that we are able to address this is the sooner we're able to put people on a path to recovery and save lives. And that's really what we do at the end of the day. That's why we're in this field. And, all throughout the Commonwealth and all throughout the world, numbers are just exacerbated by COVID-19. So I think now more than ever, it's imperative that when we see something, we have the ability to take that time and reprieve without the economic impact that it can have on an individual or their family as caregivers.
Thank you for that.
So we know that there's, oh, sorry, go ahead, sir.
No, I was going to say, do we want to move on to questions and answers?
Yeah,
Or
if
at least
that's,
questions. I might not have answers. Who knows?
yes, if that's all right with you. I think, a burning question on a lot of our minds. I know that there's a lot going into negotiations right now around reconciliation and Build Back Better, and we know paid leave is a part of those conversations. And we'd love to hear your reactions to how some of that is going, and what your thoughts are on in terms of the opportunities really for paid leave and for trying to establish a federal framework.
Well, despite the wailing and gnashing of teeth, I think we're going to get, in fact, I'm certain we're going to get a reconciliation and the bipartisan infrastructure packages passed. It may not be at the $3.5 trillion level that the House wants, at least for reconciliation. Things may get pared down, and as things are pared down, as at the top line number, obviously those items that make up that top line number come down as well. But I don't have much doubt that we'll get it done, and I believe that paid family leave will be part of that equation.
That's great to hear. That's great. And thank you. Like I say, you've been doing this for a while, and our connection goes back to when you were at the Senate caucus, of course, the Senate of Virginia. And so, I've really appreciated working with you on many of these issues affecting Virginia families. And so I know we've got a great champion in you. And so
Well, you're sweet. Thank you.
for anything you can do to keep elevating paid leave specifically in a lot of
You're
these.
just saying that because I hired you, but that's all right. Keep telling people that.
Well, I'm still grateful for that too. But yeah, Victor, do you have any other question, or frankly, anybody else on the Zoom questions for the Congressman about reconciliation or infrastructure, or other priorities within the substance use disorder community that you all have been championing at the federal level?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. Congressman, I wanted to get an idea of any general support for Representative Spanberger's bill, our Recovery Act. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not. Abigail does great work, but we have not had a chance to talk about it one-on-one, nor has it come up in any caucus meeting that I've been a part of yet.
Okay. Essentially, I'm sure it'll get to your desk at some point.
Unless she's referred to it, or unless it's been referred to by some other fancy title or something. I'm not familiar with the verbiage you used, at least.
Okay. It's just, that's what they call the Substance Abuse Recovery Act. Essentially trying to allocate 10% of the substance abuse and prevention block grant specifically to recovery. And that's something that, as an organization that is really focused on the recovery aspect of that continuum, we are incredibly supportive of. And would hope, to have later conversations when it does reach your desk.
Well, we'll be anxious to see it, and we always keep an open mind, but we'll look forward to talking to you about it.
Thank you.
Well, again, we're very grateful for your time. I do want to just do one last check to see folks. Maybe it would be helpful if, because we had some great testimony shared by Jason and Anika. Do we want to just do a really quick round robin so that the Congressman sees who's here, especially looking at it on a phone.
Well, you see my thumb coming across the screen. That's because I keep switching over to see who's here.
Well, for what it's worth, we have, if you mentioned Dave Mills, we've got Jason Cox, of course, and Anika Richberg, who spoke. We have Lissa Brown and Terrence Walker. I know Terrence is still at work, so that's why he's off camera. And of course, Victor, who said a few words, Monica Hutchinson. Let's see, who haven't I mentioned? Fran Callahan, Janetta Lee. And so, some great voices from across the Richmond region. Many of us are constituents as well. just again, here to really lift up paid leave and what it would mean both for the substance use disorder community, but also Virginians at large. One statistic that I've been leaning on a lot as we've had some of these conversations is that right now, even unpaid leave under the Family Medical Leave Act is out of reach for 55% of working Virginians. And that's either because they find themselves ineligible for the job protections under FMLA, perhaps because they are contract workers, perhaps because they are carved out from FMLA, or just simply they can't afford to go without that paycheck. And so, again, when you think about substance use in particular, there's such there are so many stigmas associated with seeking treatment, and there are so many barriers that exist that stand in the way. And so, if it's a matter of being able to pay your bills this month and not get your car foreclosed on versus getting treatment and taking that time, then it becomes an impossible juggling act for the patients, for the folks who are struggling, but then for their families as well. And so, it truly is a family-friendly economic policy, paid family medical leave. It's something that would touch pretty much every working Virginian at some point in their life, right? Whether it's welcoming a new child into the home, whether it's dealing with a personal medical emergency or a medical condition of a loved one. And so, again, just as these negotiations continue, we really appreciate your leadership, and we appreciate anything that you are able to do to continue to lift up the fight for paid leave and just how important it is to Virginians and frankly to Americans. I mean, we're the only industrialized nation in the world that doesn't have a guaranteed paid leave option for its workers in these instances. So again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
One last time, if anybody else, I feel like I've held the mic for too long, but
I just wanted to just add that not only will it help empower all Virginians, but there's a true equity piece in this that would help right so many wrongs, because we know that majority of those who are not, who do not have access to type of paid leave or unpaid leave, honestly, are going to be Black, brown, and low income women. And so I would not be who I is if I did not add that piece to it. Is that this is a way to right so many wrongs of yesteryear. And, we talk about racial justice, and we talk about social justice, and we talk about these things. And I'm not you, but just, we as a whole. But talking is great, but we really do need anti-racist policies put in place to truly put our money where our mouth is. And this is one of the policies that would go so far to right so many wrongs. So I just wanted to just add that piece.
Well said. Very well said. And you're absolutely correct. Well, let me also thank you all for taking the time out to come and share your stories and your experiences. One thing that has certainly come through today is the passion that you all have for this issue. And I wish the whole Congress could see this on a regular basis, but I'll do what I can to carry that passion forward and to see to it that all Virginians and all Americans have the paid family medical leave that they so richly deserve.
thank you, sir. Keep fighting for us. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you, Congressman.
We'll do it.
Thank you.
See y'all back in Richmond.
Sounds
Thank you,
good.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Christina.